Amorim and Harry Maguire. Please indicate who your question is for. Let's get going with Stan.
Ruben, if I can start with you. Obviously, you had some strong words after the Brighton game, I know that. What response have you seen from your players after what you said?
First of all, I want to talk about that. I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think, 7 games in the first 10. So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players. So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments, but the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before, so the response was quite normal, because I'm really blunt with my players, and they train well, they are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
And Harry, how does that land in the dressing room when you hear your manager describe the team as possibly the worst in the club's history?
No, I think as players, obviously after the game, we was really frustrated, disappointed, coming off the back of a good away performance and then beating Southampton. Going into the game, we was confident, and we felt like we had the belief that we can go and beat Brighton, and ultimately we didn't perform well enough on the day. So we've got to look at ourselves. We've got to take responsibility on ourselves, and as an individual, that's what I do. I go home and think about how I can help this team improve and get back to where we want to get back to, and that's challenging a lot higher than we are in the league. So for me, it's about us players just taking responsibility on ourselves and improving individually, which will help the team improve.
Harry, you've played quite well recently. I know things haven't been going so well for the team, but the manager said last week you're a leader again. Do you feel as though it has benefited you not being the captain of the club? Because, as you said recently, your form over the past 18 months has been quite consistent.
No, I wouldn't put it down to that, to be honest. Whether I'm captain or not, I do see myself as a leader in this group of players. I'm experienced now. I've been at the club over 5 years, and I know that in times when you play for this club, that there's so many ups and downs, and every game that you lose, there's a lot of scrutiny on the players, and players get targeted, and I think that's part and parcel of playing for this club. You've got to accept and take the responsibility on. And I think, look, I look at previous players, and I've spoke about this before, the likes of players like Wayne Rooney and David Beckham. They had large amount of scrutiny on them, and they was world-class players. So if it can happen to them, it can happen to anybody, and it's part and parcel of playing for this club. And listen, playing for this club's a huge privilege and a huge honour, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Just regarding that scrutiny, I mean, Joshua Zirkzee had some dreadful stick a few weeks ago, and he's played well since. Did you ever speak to him, because you've been through similar experiences at times?
No, I sent him a message privately after the game. But listen, Josh is a good player. You don't play for this club if you're not a good player. He's got to bring that belief out and that confidence out in himself. And I always say in football, there's always another game, and there's always a next opportunity. And with Josh obviously coming on against Arsenal, he really changed the game for us. And then to score that winning penalty, probably give him a lot of confidence and believe that he belongs at this club. So the fans have been brilliant with him. We have amazing fans, and they stick with us through thick and thin, and when times are tough, they really get behind you and support you. And I felt that, and Josh, I'm sure, will have been feeling that over the recent weeks. But it's not really about individuals, it's more about as a team. We're disappointed as a team. We want to get higher in the Premier League and start challenging at the top end of it. And this season, ultimately, we haven't been good enough.
Sam.
Harry, can you explain, you say all the players are good players, and clearly they are, the top-end Premier League players in theory, but you're not as a team at the moment, a top-end Premier League team, or playing anything like it. Can you explain why that happened?
If I could explain it, I think we'd change it straight away. I think, like you said, we've got players who's played numerous games internationally, won lots of trophies in club football. But at the moment, we're not playing well enough as a team, and the league table shows that. So I can only keep going on about it. We've got to take responsibility on as players. We've got to stop looking for excuses and blaming things. And it's really important that as an individual, you improve yourself, you come into training, you give absolute everything, and that's only what we can do.
Sorry, Ruben, I take on board what you said right at the start, but if you're taking responsibility away from the players, then you put it on you, and someone has to take responsibility for the fact that Manchester United are 14th in the...
I'm not taking responsibility from the players. What I'm saying, that is the message that you guys show was that I was putting on the players. What I was saying is that you have to look really hard to find the team of Manchester United in 10 games that lose 7 games. In that is on me, because it's the same players doing worse with a new coach. That's my only concern in the moment. But I'm not taking anything from the players. What I'm saying is that we have to improve in the details, and I explained that. The way we play, we are too nervous with the ball, too nervous, really anxious. And then if you have a little bit experience in this game, when you fall in this type of context, it's really hard to go up, especially when you are a massive club. So that was my only point. It was the best point to do it after that loss in the way I do it. Maybe not, but it is what it is. And I'm like that all the time. So I'm not taking responsibility from the players. I'm saying, I'm really, really direct in things. I'm saying in this moment, we are performing really bad, and our results are really bad in the moment. So it's everything together, the players, the staff, the technical stuff. So I'm not taking responsibility. I'm just pointing that I'm the biggest responsible of the performance and the results, because I'm the coach and I have that responsibility.
Ruben, you've spoken a couple of times about the anxiety that you feel sometimes at Old Trafford. Is it becoming harder to play there at the moment as opposed to being away? And is there anything that you can do to combat it, that feeling of kind of nervousness, anxiety when you play home games?
I think that is clear. I could say different things and say, no, it's the same thing. We have the support of the fans. No, we are more nervous playing at home than away, because we lost a lot of games, like 4 games in 5. So it's getting harder. What we can improve, I think, if we don't suffer the first goal, like in the 4th minute, and I remember like it's 4th minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it's really hard to calm down the team. So we need, the first thing in my mind is they cannot score. We need to score the first one. If we score the first one, I think that will change, and we will play better at home in the beginning. So that's it. I think it's really clear. We are really anxious playing, especially at home, and we are suffering goals, and then it's really hard. So I think it's clear for everybody that is getting harder to play at Old Trafford.
Jamie.
I think you said previously, a couple of weeks back, there's a storm coming, yes? So it's fair to say you're in the storm, yeah? Can it get any worse for you, for this team, in terms of your position, your performances, the results? Can there be thunder and lightning in the storm?
I think the most important thing is to think that we can improve right away in the next match, and then it's like that. The football can change like that. We can have a lot of ideas in thinking that it's getting worse for that reason or the other reason. Imagine that tomorrow we don't suffer a goal in the beginning and we score and we play well, and then you go to Fulham and you can win it. That will change even the environment here and everything. So I don't know. What I knew since the first day is that when I arrived and I see it, I understood that changing things, we are going to suffer. For me, it was really clear. But in this moment, I don't want to say that it's going to take a lot of time. It's getting really hard, and you know, and you guys are here for a long time, and you get lost after loss. It's really hard for everybody, and I know that. Sometimes I show that frustration, but I don't know. We can change that tomorrow.
So may I just ask you both this next question, please? You just mentioned it again then, that you're really nervous. As a player, does that help you to hear your head coach say, you and other players are nervous?
No, I think we spoke about the first goal at Old Trafford, and it's not teams are coming to Old Trafford and opening us up and tactically breaking us down. I think anybody who was at the game against Brighton, it was a 50-50 game. It could have gone either way, and we gave them a goal early on, which we knew we had to stop. We spoke about it in the pre-match. So we've got to stop giving away that first goal. That's the first and foremost thing. I think the first goal against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, was a set play. The first goal against Southampton was a set play. So these aren't things that what are tactically a problem. These are things like you've got to go into the game and be focused and mentally ready to go and win a football matches. And football matches are sometimes defined on small margins, and at the moment we're not getting them small margins because we're not mentally focused enough to make sure that they go our way. So we know things can turn, and like the boss has said, tomorrow's an opportunity for our players to go out there, put on a performance and get the win, and then go into Sunday. But yeah, of course, we take each game as it comes, starting with tomorrow, and tomorrow's another opportunity for us to make sure that we move on from Brighton and put things right.
I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players to see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
You're saying your players are nervous. We are nervous.
Yeah. As a team, because it's always we.
Does that help the team to sort of put that thought into their head?
No. I'm saying the obviously. If you want, I can be delusional and say different things. Right. I say it as I saw it, and I said to the players, and I said to you, I think it's a good thing to be really honest with you. If you want me to say different things, you saw one thing, I saw one thing, and I tell you a different thing, I can start to do that. It's easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know. And you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
Laurie.
You mentioned in the dressing room after the Brighton game saying these kind of things to the players directly. I'm right in saying that usually you don't say anything, you wait until the next morning. Why did you change your methods for that game, and do you sometimes feel that you need to, I don't know, you said you want to shock the club, shock the players. Was that a moment where you were doing that?
No, it was not. I didn't think. That's why. I'm a young guy and sometimes I make a mistake, and that's why I don't talk about after the game. This game, I needed to talk. And maybe it was a mistake, and then I get more nervous and go to the conference really nervous, and then you say things that you shouldn't say, and that's it. Sometimes you are a young guy and then do mistakes, and you improve. I don't promise you that I will not do it again. I don't know, so I will try to improve.
James.
Ruben, you've been honest as always about the sort of financial realities that the club are going to face this year. There's a lot of talk of Napoli and Chelsea interest in Garnacho. If the club was to get to a point where it gets an offer that it deems acceptable for a player like that, how important is it for you that you are then able to reinvest and use that money?
Guys, I understand the question. Let's focus on the game. I don't want to talk about that, especially before a game. Our focus is that our players are here to play. We need to improve. We need to win games. To have that feeling of winning is really important for us. So let's focus on that today.
Let's take a last question from the Scottish press.
Just a question for both gentlemen, please. Just what do you expect from Rangers tomorrow night?
No, I think we expect a tough game. We know they're going to come here and give everything. They're going to be followed with great support. And I think they've done extremely well in the competition. So, no, we expect a tough game, but I think our focus on ourselves, making sure that we perform on the back of a bad defeat at the weekend, and we'll go there with confidence that we can perform and get the 3 points.
We expect, like Harry said, a tough match. A lot of physicality during the game. I know that some players, important players that from Rangers that don't play, and we have to know the new players to understand the way they play. With the fullbacks are really high on the pitch. They have talented to score in the final third. So it's one more difficult game. Is really important for us because we want to skip playoff. Is really important to have time to train. So I expect the same thing that we face in the last games. A really tough match, a lot of physicality, with also the fans from Rangers making some noise. So we are prepared. Our fans are prepared. We want to win.
Just one last one from Scotland.
In many ways, the situation at Rangers just now mirrors the situation at Manchester United. A lot of turmoil on and off the park. Are you aware of what's been going on in Rangers? Same idea of the fans being upset at lack of success, and do you feel for their coach, Philippe Clement?
It's really hard. These massive clubs, and Rangers won a lot. I think is the club with more titles in Europe. So it's really hard in these moments for any coach in any club. But I hope to improve my team before, especially tomorrow. So I feel the pain of the Rangers coach.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
John.